My name is Irfan and we are from ME1 Group A. In this video, we would like to talk about the 5 chapters that we have learned in our Introduction to Management course. So the first chapter will be Managing Environment. So this chapter is all about the kind of environment that is conducive to management. It talks about the external environment as well as the internal environment of an organization. And then we're going to be talking about the decision making. What are the factors involved in making decisions? What are the techniques that we can employ in order to make decisions? And then we're going to go over planning strategies and process. What are the structures that we can use to come up with strategies in our planning? And then we're going to be talking about managing human resources. How are we going to effectively use our talent to achieve our goals? And how are we going to organize ourselves? Finally, we're going to be talking about managing change and innovation. How are we going to effectively navigate this constantly changing world? And how are we going to come up with new ideas in order to adapt to this world?
So, what is manager? So, manager is a person who is in charge of managing its employees. So, as we have learned, there are 4 types of manager, which is the top manager, the middle manager, the first line, and the team leader. So, based on our interview with the manager of V5 Cafe, so we found out that his role is a first line manager. So, what does a first line manager do? First line manager manages non-managerial employees, and they decide what does the employee does. So why is manager important? Why do we learn management? So management is important because in everything that we do, there will be someone managing and people who will manage us. The next I'll be discussing about chapter 2 of ITM, which is external environment. Now, what does external environment mean? External environment means factors, forces, situations and events that involves outside of the company. So how does external environment affects a manager? They affect in 3 ways, which is job and employment. Now, through our interview, we found out that B5 Cafe employs around 26 employees, which goes and on. So people come and go. Second is environmental uncertainty and also managing stakeholder relationship. Now, since V5 Cafe is under UTP, so that means that the manager has to maintain a good relationship with UTP. This means that they have to maintaining quality of food and also maintaining their customer satisfaction. And also during time to time to have catering events for students activity and also UTP activities. Now, organization culture is a thing which affects the company the most. How the company runs. Now, it affects what employees do and how they behave. Now, V5 Cafe has a strong culture. They prefer to have a professional workspace where employees and the manager does not allow their personal emotion to affect on their daily basis and how they think. They also maintain a family-oriented type work and high ethic to the company.
Hi guys, I'm Tachini. So today I'm going to talk about making decision. In general, the decision making process helps manager and other business professionals solve problems by examining alternative choices and deciding on the best route to take. Using a step-by-step approach is an efficient way to make thoughtful, informed decisions that have a positive impact on the organization's short and long-term goals. For an example, our interviewee long-term objective is aiming to expand their market to Northern after having strong base in the South. They already planned an effective way, which is to have sales during Raya holidays. However, the managers make decisions. They not only use their own particular style, but also may use judgmental shortcuts to simplify their decision making. Yet it is not very reliable and can lead managers into error while processing and evaluating information.
Today I will continue our presentation with the next topic, which is foundations of planning. So planning is a very important element in an organization because it is a primary management function. So first and foremost, planning is conceived as defining the organization's objectives or goals by establishing various strategies in order to meet the goals. So why managers should plan? There are several reasons. First, because to establish coordinated effort, and which means it provides direction to both managers and employees, so each of them knows how to contribute individually in order to achieve the organization's goals. And then it is to reduce overlapping and wasteful activities. So it is a coordination before the fact is likely to uncover waste and redundancy. And then the last reason is to establish the goals or standards that facilitate managerial control. So this is to ensure that the plans are carried out and the goals are met. So in this case, according to Mr. Shahrul Nizar, who is the outlet manager of Cafe B5, he said that he needs to plan daily, weekly and monthly for the betterment of the organization. He also clarified that each plan that he wants to propose needs to be drafted properly before he proposed to the regional manager. And then the next question is we have the opportunity to ask him what is the organization's long-term objective. So long-term objective is very important in order to set a direction that every employees or members of the organization should know about, so that they will be motivated to work towards that goal. So based on the interview, Mr. Shahrul Nizar, he stated that their organization are aiming to expand their business. So they are looking forward to do some expansion, and despite having a strong organization base in South region, he said that he hopes to open more outlets here in Perak specifically. So according to our respondent, Mr. Shahrul Nizar, he said that as a business organization, they are always looking for new ways or avenues to expand and grow their services. So he needs to make decisions that will lead to more exposure and reach for their services. In addition to that, he stated that they are looking forward to implement the Food Panda approach, also food delivery services around the campus, which is very good for all the students. So with all the strategies explained, he said that he needs to think of a very creative solution in order to attract more customers, and by that they are able to deliver their food to all students around UTP, and their food will be easier to reach by the students. And then they also need to compete with other 13 cafes in UTP. So Mr. Shahrul Nizar holds the responsibility in planning what the organization should do in order to compete with all the cafes in UTP.
Now I'm going to talk about human resource management. The quality of an organization is to a large degree determined by the quality of the people it employs. Staffing and human resource management decisions and actions are critical to ensuring that the organization hires and keeps the right people. Every organization needs competent, talented people to do whatever work is necessary for doing what the organization needs to do. So the first phase of the human resource management process involves 3 tasks, where one of it is employment planning. It is the process by which managers ensure that they have the right number and kinds of people in the right places at the right times, people who are capable of effectively and efficiently completing those tasks that will help the organization achieve its overall goals. For instance, the manager has 2 supervisors under him, and staff will be reporting to them the daily necessities of the outlet and so on. Then the manager will report it to the regional manager, and it will be reported to the headquarters in Kuala Lumpur.
So let's talk about managing change and innovation. So we should begin by trying to understand the different types of change that exist. So in our course, we have learned that there are 3 categories of change that can occur. We have structural change, technological change, or change in people. In our case, Mr. Shahrul has mentioned that he had to change a lot of his workers. So the kind of change that he has implemented was people's change. He also mentioned that he needed to introduce his own working culture in his organization because his organization is quite new, about 6 months. So this is the types of change that we have seen in our project. So change occurs when there are forces available to precipitate that kind of change. we can begin to analyze these forces as either external changes, which could be the market, the government, or laws, or internal forces, which are attitudes, strategies, or even workplace politics. And generally, change can occur in two different types of situation. We have the calm water situation, or what we call white water rapids. So calm water situation is when the organization undergoes change, but the industry situation remains calm. But on the other hand, the white water rapids is when the industry is undergoing change and the organization has to change as well. So let's look at creativity and innovation. So it's a common mistake that people make is to mistake the two for each other. But I think it's important that we understand that creativity is to produce something new, to produce a new idea or new concept. The key word here is in the word itself, creativity, to create something new, right? So on the other hand, innovation is to take an existing idea, often after the process of creativity, and to turn it into something new. Before we end this video, I think it's important to look at how these things correlate with each other. To me, when change occurs, oftentimes we need to come up with creative solutions to navigate the uncertain waters that change brings. Or if in order to initiate the change that we want, we need to come up with a creative idea. Let's start with something new, a new goal or new strategy, or a new concept that the company and the organization can strive towards. So that's all from us. Thank you for watching.